we go. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Codex Station's Comic Character of the Week. We take one character, give you the deep dive on that character, give you all the badass moments, the must-read stories, top covers, and so much more. I'm your host tonight, Sal the Slab Guy. As always, join with me, our usual suspects, Dan the Man Kelly, right down below. Over there in the corner is the Ric Flair of comics. Woo! And, of course, to my side is the J-Dub himself. What's happening, guys?
I'm here.
Another Thursday night with our favorite people talking to our favorite people.
Another Thursday night. Yes,
my
indeed.
first one is before Baltimore.
Yeah, I was gonna say. And actually, this character has been put off a lot. We've had this. I think we had him slated. Wow, July. I think we had him slated for, and just life happened and he got bumped.
And have we done a true Robin? I mean, I know. I think like it seemed like there was a Nightwing y'all had done before.
We did Nightwing.
We did Nightwing.
We did Jason Todd.
Yeah, we did.
But not a true Robin.
Not just true Robin centric. It was like a mix.
Right.
Right.
So
So I guess next up we have to do is Tim Drake, I guess.
Yeah, we'll have to do Tim and we'll have to do Cassie.
You can keep me off Tim.
Okay.
I just give him bad.
Really? I liked him.
I hate Tim. Tim is like.
Don't talk about Tim the Terrible.
If they have a one number to call to kill.
Hey, Richard.
Well, you have something in common with Damian. He doesn't care for Tim either.
No.
All right, well, let's get some business out of the way. Once again, you know me, I'm Sal the Slab Guy. You can always find me on YouTube under Sal's Comic Corner and Instagram as the Slab Guy 77. Dan, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you at?
You can find me on Instagram at Dan Kelly Art. I post whenever I want to. When I have
there you go.
Post, which unfortunately is not as often recently, but still, go check it out.
Dan Kelly Art right here. Dan Kelly
Check
Art.
it out. He's our in-house registered CGC artist.
Yes, he is.
It reminds me, I have to call CGC tomorrow to ask about Richard's book, which I still...
Yeah, you got to talk about it. It's still showing up on my thing. Whatever.
Okay.
It's still showing up on my side.
Why is everything Uncle Gary does so cool? Because he just slid that right into the bag, went and put it to the side. Like,
if only I had other things that were cool.
Yeah, like a spinning Robin.
I know. If only I had anything else to add.
Jeez. There you go, Richard. Hi, Dan Kelly Art.
Yeah, but after you do that, check out what this guy's got going on. He's about to tell you about it. He is the curator of the Library of Comics, which not just a awesome comic collection, it also an awesome action figure collection, statues, posters, prints, autographs. If it's comic related, blankets, shirts, whatever. If it's comic related, he's got it. That's Uncle Gary.
Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Dan, always the man. Appreciate you, my brother. Go buy his art. Awesome art.
Do it.
Come check me out. Comic Logic. Come to Comic Logic. Comic Logic. We're Loudoun County, Virginia's only comic book store, and we got a special event coming this weekend, this very weekend. It's today, Thursday, in a couple days, just a couple days, Sunday. This Sunday, please come down to Comic Logic. We are having our fall lot con where we will turn our parking lot into a mini Comic Con. We'll have 35 to 40 vendors. We'll have comics. We'll have local artists, local authors. We'll have jewelry. And for those of you that are a little adventurous and you think that this weekend at a little mini Comic Con is a place you want to get that very special tramp stamp, we will have a tattoo artist there ready to stamp you up wherever you want it. Doesn't have to be in the middle of your back. It can, or in the small of your back there. It can be on your thigh, your arm, your forehead, face tattoo if that's what you want. But we will even have that for you. So come to Comic Logic. It'll be trunk or treat, so please bring the kids. Have them dress up. We'll have, the vendors will have candy for them. So it's going to be a fun, family-friendly event. You will see Dan Kelly and his lovely daughter there. Sal is maybe.
I'm 50. Unfortunately, my daughter has a family event going on. So
he's got family commitments. That's okay, but we'll miss him. But you come down there, you can see the Comic Logic folks, me, Mighty Mike Harbor, Rob Kalin, and our other stalwarts there. Plus, you can see some Codex folks too. You'll get me. You'll get Dan. So you'll have the streams crossing
Mighty Mike
again, and Mike. That's right. Mike's Codex now. The streams will be crossing once again, and you'll see some of the chat people. Eternal Glade will be there. So Adam will be there.
Mhm.
And we will also have Liz will be there, who's a
Yes.
frequent chat contributor. Possibly,
Chris.
just scare you away. Possibly a Chris sighting. We'll see. Chris maybe, but either way, it's going to be a good time.
I'm
Please
shooting
come.
100% for Chris sightings.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Oh,
Did
listen.
he get a weekend pass?
Did you get a week of that? Let me tell you something. And for you folks, just to plug our hello, that's Boosh. Our
Cholesterol down?
weekend show that I'm really thrilled about, where we're going to do the Halloween covers. We a bunch of people have sent in covers, including some of our people in the chat. And Chris, as far as I have seen, I haven't seen everybody's picks, but I have seen. I know what Sal's picked, I know what I picked, and I know what Chris has picked. And Chris has sent in the most horrible, horrific cover I have ever seen in my life. That's all I can say. Sal backs me up on that.
I do. It'll give you nightmares. I had to go see. I had to seek therapy after seeing it.
I can't unsee that. I can't unsee that. So anyway,
Boosh.
Hey Boosh, good to see you. So that's what's going on at Comic Logic. Please come see us. Also,
And don't forget, I will have the stickers to give out if anybody comes up and gives me the special pass code.
the Dread Pirate Roberts, I presume.
Exactly, and you get a free sticker. And in
Nice.
if Sal's there, he'll bring Codex merch too.
Oh, I have to give you some Codex merch to give to you, just in case I can't make it.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'll talk to you about that after the show.
All right. And we also, at this juncture, usually like to give love to our main man, Archduke Kevy, that started the Comic Character of the Day site. He is the reason, for good or ill, that we are all acquainted. So
That's right.
You see us because we got acquainted on that site, and Archduke Kevy is going to have a bigger presence again on this very network again, where he belongs. So we are thrilled to have that happen. So Archduke Kevy is one of us. So the Comic Character of the Day site is just a great site you go to on Facebook. I do the cover of the day. Dan over there does a fantastic random panel of the day. You do not know what you're going to get every day. It's
It's a roll of dice.
Usually it's a new adventure in poor taste, and who doesn't need that these days?
I will tell you this too, because on Facebook, for anyone out there that may have a Facebook page, you can't do it on your personal page, but on a group page, you could post stuff and you could schedule it in advance. So I have the random panel of the day posted you can do it for a month in advance. So I have the random panel of the day posted for every day between now and November 24th. So they're already up there and ready to go. They'll just drop it at the time I have them posted, and I've got a bunch more on my phone to put up too.
That is a man with a plan. So he is ready to go. He is locked and loaded for you. He also has a great question of the day. And Sal is always a contributor, and Jamie is the eyes. He's always watching. You know, when he's not on this show and the eyes appear, we know it's 5-0, 5-0. Watch out, 5-0. He is watching. He is making sure that we are giving you what you deserve, because he built this channel. He built this station. He built it brick by brick, cinder block by cinder block. He put the mortar on himself. He put all the rebar in. He just poured the concrete, and he built this station from the ground up. And from what you see today is because of the hard work, the muscle aching, back breaking work that man of vision put in to build this glorious station that emanates all this knowledge out upon the airwaves to you and to all of you. So we owe him such a great debt of gratitude. The one, the only master builder, J-Dub.
J-Dub. And yes, Bam. Yes. Short answer, yes, Bam. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you for that. I miss it. I love it. I can't get enough of it. But real quick, as you were saying, yes, you will see Archduke Kevy back with Codex. Not anything live. I was happy to make the phone call yesterday, throw the idea out at him, and he wants back in. So I was like, here you go. Let's go. Let's get some. He's going to be doing strictly reviews. So if you guys haven't noticed on our socials, we've been posting our reviews there. It's been a lot better, a lot more engagement, I'd say, and a lot more conversation. I know Liz has dropped in there. A couple people have made comments about them. It's been a great, great time so far with it. So I can't wait to see what everyone puts out there. But yeah, you can find us on
The socials?
The socials.
The
there.
socials?
You go.
And you know why you can find us on the socials? Because we're positively dripping with them. We have all the socials, and there is nothing else in this world that we would love more than to be able to give them to you.
That's right.
Yes. And you can go check us out at thecodexstation.com. It's your one-stop shop for everything Codex. Get some merch, meet team. Let us know what you like and don't like. Find the bios in there and the socials, too, because they're dripping somewhere in one of the links there.
By that guy right there.
Yeah, this guy, the tech wizard.
Yeah.
Tech Wizard.
Yeah.
That's your new name, Uncle Gary. The Tech Wizard.
Y'all know so much.
Hey, Techie. Got a problem?
Yeah.
But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you could do us a favor too while you're at it, hit that like button, smash that thing, so that way we can reach more people like us, grow this community a little bit more. I'm gonna be saying that in the middle of the show too. So
Did you say smash that thing?
smash that thing?
I need to leave. I'll see you.
Uncle Gary will return shortly.
Or you
Not
just
that
put
short.
there should be
Not
like
that
a screen up that says "Playing with Giant-Sized Man" thing.
That's right.
That's right. That's right.
How do you think I got these hefting that thing?
Nice.
Ain't the arms, all forearm, baby.
Yeah. I know, like Popeye.
Boom. All right, guys, let's go ahead and jump into the show. We're going to see you guys in about 45 seconds.
Whether you like it or not.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Codex Station's Comic Character Week. Had to throw some good heavy bass into that one. We're taking one character tonight, and we're going to give you all the good info, all the top covers, all the must-read stories, and so much more. Tonight, our character is none other than Damian Wayne, son of Batman himself. Dan, why don't you go ahead and give us the intro on this guy now?
All right. Well, he first appeared. I guess it depends or what you want to count it. He first appeared either in Batman, Son of the Demon from December 1987 or Batman 655 from September 2006. Son of the Demon was supposed to be an out-of-continuity Batman story. And, in it, Bruce and Talia hook up. And the story ends with him leaving and her standing there kind of holding this baby, which is Damian. But since it was supposed to be out of continuity, nobody did anything with it for years until, 2006 at Batman 655 when they're like, oh, here's your son that you had with Talia, Damian Wayne. So, again, it's, whichever you want to consider his first appearance.
That Son of the Demon, if you haven't read it, is a fantastic book too. I bought it, live off the shelf. What would we say? Would you say 87, Dan?
December 87. Yeah.
There's a scene in there where a crook is going after Batman and he shoots and he hits this chemical vat, and these chemicals splash in his face and start melting his face, and he yells at Batman, "God damn you!" And Batman says, "Looks like he got you first." I was like, "Damn, that's a badass Batman."
That's some trash talking, baby.
Since the story was supposed to be out of Booze, you're right, and the artwork in it's gorgeous too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Barr wrote it. Mike W. Barr wrote it.
Yeah, but since that's technically, I don't know if it's still considered out of continuity or not. I'll go with his creators being Grant Morrison and Adam Kubert when they did, or Andy Kubert, I'm sorry, when they did Batman 655. because in the other one he's just a baby in a panel. This one he's a fully formed character. So as I said, he is the son of Batman and Talia al Ghul. Batman didn't know he existed. He was raised by Talia and the League of Assassins, to become this great assassin. And then, as an adolescent, she just gives him to Bruce and is like, here you go. He's yours now.
Just palms him.
And he becomes the new Robin, which, is something that he had aspired to. And he, being trained and raised by the League of Assassins, puts him a little bit at odds with Batman, with the philosophy of Batman and everyone else associated with Batman. Well, I guess except maybe Jason and John Paul. But and as far as it goes, he's the same deal with him as with all the Bat characters. Great fighter, great detective, weapons expert, all that. No actual superpowers, but all the other stuff.
Very good. Very good. So tonight's character is brought to you by Jamie. This was your choice, Jamie. Thank you very much. So why don't you kick us off for badass moments?
Okay, so first badass moment actually comes from an Elseworld story.
Well, you skipped the best scenario.
Did I do it? Yeah. Nope, I have best scenario. Okay, I'm sorry. My apologies. My apologies. Nope. I just had the wrong section highlighted. Hey, I'm wearing my glasses tonight, okay? So just back off, all right? My apologies. Best. What works best, Jamie?
Means you're supposed to be able to see.
Shut up, Dan. Jamie, what scenarios work best for you?
Not this one. No, best scenario is I like Damian as a cocky little prick. He's got to be the grandson of the head of the Demon. Like nothing else. Like when they try to dumb it down or try to take away from it, it doesn't make sense. When he's cocky and literally looking at it like Jason Todd, he's like, you died, right? And Jason's just standing there like, yeah, who invited you? All out was like.
I mean, Damian died too.
Yeah, but Bruce went back for him.
Oh, that's wrong.
Oh, that's cold.
That's wrong. That's wrong.
It's true.
Bruce cared about that one.
Bruce is like, that one came from me.
Yeah.
So I'll make the exception this time. Because he could see, yeah.
He tries to blur the vision of everybody else on screen, but no, he literally, when he's just the cocky, like going out on his own, like Batman's like, you're not on patrol tonight, and he's like, oh yeah, I am. He's like, one way or another, I'm going.
Yeah,
that's where he works best for every scenario for me.
Yep. I'll go next. I have to echo that. He's a cocky little prick. He's great. I like how he's always saying, it's like the tagline. Well, I'm the grandson of the demon. The demon's head. I'm the grandson of the demon's head. It's like a card he pulls out all the time. Well, who are you? Well, I'm the grandson of the demon's head. Okay, thank you very much. But yeah, he is an excellent fighter. I like it when he's trash talking to while he's fighting with. I got some of that in my badass moments as well. But yeah, that's what I like best about him. How about you, Dan?
I like how he's actually grown as a character. Yeah, he's still cocky and he still grates on people's nerves. But when he first showed up on the scene, he was just like, yeah, F him, kill him, and he had to work to adopt the philosophy of the rest of the Bat family, and you can see the growth that he's had as a character, not just with that, but with other things where he's become more empathetic for people. And as cool as it is with him, being Bruce's son, I actually like it better when when he teams up with Dick Grayson, whether it's Batman or Nightwing. Like I think the dynamic the two of them have is better than the dynamic he has with Bruce, because Dick is a lot more easygoing. He has a good time, out there doing this. He's not as serious as Bruce is. And I think it plays better off of Damian, than Damian plays off of Bruce, because they're just so similar. And, especially in the Batman and Robin series, when you saw, how he couldn't get along with Grayson at the start of it, and then their partnership grew, and got a lot better, and that helped him evolve as a character too.
I love the
Awesome.
I love the respect that he came to give to Dick too. That
Yeah.
he really that he respected.
Wasn't that the series where he looked at at Grayson in the bat costume, but he's like, Grayson, you got to stop doing that. And he goes, why don't you just, put that on a megaphone and tell the world who I am?
Yeah.
He's like, you think it matters? Anyone knows you?
Yeah, but it's funny. Like he's still kind of the cocky little prick, but he's actually like I said, as he's grown, he's let people in, and now he's actually become a part of the family. Where before, even though he was Bruce's actual biological son, he was very much the outsider for all of them.
Yes,
very true. It's very
Absolutely.
true. All right, Uncle Gary, what you got?
Yeah, I like him. I like him at what y'all said. He's a little pain in the ass, and he.
Yep.
Hey,
There's Chris.
There we go. Now the party. Yeah, he's a pain in the ass, and he's a cocky, arrogant little SOB, and
but he can back it up too.
Yeah, he can back it up. He can talk his trash, and I like it when he gets his comeuppance. When he runs in, things don't go exactly as he planned. And I like that aspect of him. I like his rivalry with Tim, that he just does not like Tim. And he's got he kind of pities Jason a little bit. He pities Jason, but the respect he has for Dick Grayson, and I'm going to agree 100% with what Dan says. The partnership where he was Robin and Dick Grayson was Batman was fantastic. Chris hates Damian. Where he partnered with Nightwing was really fantastic, and the fact that this little shit that doesn't respect many people grew to respect Dick Grayson tremendously. I think that is really cool when he gets that. And then another thing that I really like about when this character is used is when he was partnered with a young Jonathan Kent with the Super Sons.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that is
it didn't last long, but it was a good series.
It is pure. I know, and by aging up Jonathan, you took that away. Mike, will tell you, that broke Mike's heart when they did that, and Rob's heart from Comic Logic. That was such a wonderful dynamic, because in that series he got to be a kid. He got to be a goofy kid, and Jonathan had that infectious, good-natured side to him, and it would rub off on Damian, where he would the facade would crack, and he'd do something like a kid would do, and he'd have a little bit of fun. Whoops. There you go, Chris. So I like the hard ass statement, but I also like the fact that in Super Sons he's allowed to be a kid and have a little bit of fun with a peer.
But you're right, they ruined it by aging Jonathan up, because
I agree.
You had Bruce and Clark. And then Grayson didn't really have anyone. Jason didn't really have anyone. But then Tim had Connor. And then you had Damian, had Jonathan. So you had that generational Batman Superman combo, even though it skipped, Robin 1 and 2. And then, and then it ruined it. Like you said, since they aged Jonathan up, they've hardly had any interactions.
And those stories were stories that you could read a Batman family story that wasn't so dark and grim, right? I mean, look, we love the dark, grim Batman, but there's age-appropriate stories where, kids could read this and enjoy it and see themselves in that, which is the whole reason sidekicks were introduced in the first place, back when Robin became the first sidekick in 1940. It was because, they were giving the readers somebody they could identify with, and that was the kid sidekick. So, so I mean, that goes back to the early days of comics, that trope. And, and it's a shame that we've kind of lost that with the aging of Jonathan.
Yeah, totally agree. All right, now maybe we jump on the badass moments, please, if it's okay with you all.
Check my show notes.
Dan, what are your top 3 badass moments? Just because Jerem somewhere is oh my god!
And hey, he's not wrong. The ads were in there.
Oh man! Oh, he would.
That's a $5.
There you go, Chris. So hopefully he didn't go to Jared.
Yeah. The three I got is the first one I'll say is from Batman and Robin Annual #1. Even though Bruce kind of reveals at the end of the story, he realized, kind of what he was doing. He tricked Bruce into taking a trip overseas by filming himself in front of a green screen and being like, "Hey, I'm over here. Come visit me."
Yeah.
And he leaves all of these little clues for Bruce all over the place, where Bruce is retracing the steps that his parents did when they were younger. He's finding out stuff about him that Damian dug up that he never really knew about, how his father proposed to his mother, and like, hey, here's the statue that they pose in front of. Hey, here's this piece of art that your mother painted that's in this that's in this museum. And he's leaving all these clues, and it's kind of cool because Batman's the world's greatest detective, and he's still finding a way to reveal some things to him about his parents that he didn't know about. And all the while too, he's in Gotham dressing himself up as like a junior Batman and going out and whooping ass, just so he can kind of go out for a few days on his own. Right. But that was still pretty cool. In Batman 666, issue 666, it's a one-issue storyline, and it shows Damian, and it's never a story. It's a story that they haven't really revisited either, which is to the best of my knowledge, which is a shame because it's pretty cool. It's Damian when he's all grown up and older, and he's Batman now, and Bruce is gone, and all of the rest of them are gone, and it's him as Batman in Gotham, and he's having a fight with he's having a
oh God, Chris, come on, man.
Oh shit. Oh my God.
And he's having a
great video, ladies and gentlemen. I guess we're getting taken down as of today.
He's having a fight with this villain, and they're in the top of this one building, and he tells the guys, like, something? He said, the first 3 years that I spent as Batman, I spent booby trapping this entire city just for events like this. And the guy goes, what? And then all of a sudden this explosion goes off in the top of the building right in front of this guy and sends him flying. And it's like, man, he had the foresight to spend 3 years setting stuff up all over the city just in case he might need it at some point in the future. They always say the stuff with Bruce, like, oh, he could beat anybody, give him like a week of preparation. That goes so far beyond anything that Bruce has ever done, to spend 3 years doing that. And then the final one I have is from the Robin Son of Batman series from issue 4. He ends up getting into this fight with Deathstroke. Deathstroke comes after him and this girl that he's partnering with, that's the daughter of Henry Ducard, who is one of the people that trained Batman. And Deathstroke's coming at him, and Damian's fighting him, and they're going back and forth. And it doesn't really explicitly say it, but you can see Damian kind of figures like, I'm not going to win this. So he just recites off this list of numbers to him. Deathstroke goes, what? And he goes, well, that's your Swiss bank account number, right? He's like, I read the Justice League files on you. They're kind of boring, but I remember that. So how much is it going to take for you to just go away? And Deathstroke just looks at him and goes, $5 million. And he's like, all right, wire Deathstroke $5 million to just go away and leave him, basically just to leave him alone and stop fighting him. And Deathstroke's like, all right, bye. He ended the fight. He ended
Problem solved.
By just, how much is it going to take? All right, here you go. Bye.
That's funny.
I just love that moment. Like, well, that's one way to beat him.
Most certainly. All right, Jamie, you go next. What are your badass moments?
All right, so I have Damian Wayne decapitating Talion. That when you want to see that side of the grandson of the demon head or head demon, that's the side you want to see. I mean, it was great. I think Tomasi did a great job on that series across the board, but that moment sold it for me. I was never a big Damian Wayne fan until that, and I got to read that. My next one is Blackest Night, Batman #3, when he wields the Black Lantern ring.
Oh yeah.
That I thought he would have got Rage or something like that, or even throw us for a loop and make it Hope. I don't know. But
Maybe.
him having that was, to me, iconic as much as it was for Bruce to have the White Lantern ring and Brightest Day. Because you kind of see the contrast there. The
Right.
life and the death. And then lastly, is one of my favorite. It's only 2 issues. It's Batman Beyond, issues 10 and 11. Terry McGinnis has to go find the new leader of the League of Assassins. Come to find out that it's Damian, and he took over for Ra's al Ghul as the what do you call it, head demon.
Demon.
And Demon Head. I keep saying head demon. Demon Head. Dyslexic all day.
Head
and they
demon.
just have a
He's like the the project manager in an office full of demons.
yeah. All right. I mean, I work with most of them. It was probably the coolest fight because he wasn't a cocky little prick anymore. He was an adult prick. And he was literally just bashing Terry McGinnis the whole time, basically being like, "You're not good enough. Yeah, Bruce trained you. That's great. He was my dad. He trained me too. But I need, make a stand for myself. And doing this is gonna push me farther." It didn't. He lost. But it was cool to see, like almost like a what if storytelling, as if he did go the other route. So
Yeah,
those are my
that's pretty nice.
Good.
Gary, do you want to go next, and I'll
Sure.
go last on this one?
Sure. During one of his, when he comes into the Teen Titans, he comes into it like, "All right, I'm leading this crew," and they're like,
Oh,
"Who
yeah.
the hell are you?" Right? So, but he does end up eventually becoming a leader of the Teen Titans, and then the little shit
Yeah.
has a prison underneath Titans Tower that none of the other teammates know about. And instead of giving criminals, taking them to jail, he's putting them in his own private prison. I mean, what the hell, man? I mean, that's just, come on. That's badass. That's ridiculous. But you're leading the team, and you're not letting the team know that you got a prison underneath their headquarters.
Oh, by the way.
Yeah. By the way,
Just figured I'd let you guys know.
yeah. When they found out, they were not too pleased. Kind of like Tower of Babel, when the JLA was not too pleased with Batman. So that was a case. That was a case where the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. Another one is when at one point the spook was decapitated, and he's going after Tim Drake again. And he has the decapitated head of the spook, and he puts a grenade in it and throws it at Tim Drake. So
He deserved
I can't remember what series that was from, but I remember he threw a decapitated head with a bomb in it to Tim Drake to start their fracas. So, wow. Riley Reid. Damn it.
Excuse me.
So my other one comes with a bit of great Peter Tomasi dialogue. So,
Hello, Carissa.
so we're going to do some little story time here with Uncle Gary. So,
All right.
Peter Tomasi, I mean, this dude, y'all met him in Baltimore. He is a great guy. He's a great writer. And the Batman and Robin, the second volume of this, where Tomasi was, the first volume of Batman and Robin was Damian and Dick Grayson. The second volume of Batman and Robin, he's learning to become the Robin to his father, which is there's a lot of conflict in there between the two of them, and they fight a villain named Nobody, and nobody knows and that character knows the identity of the Bat family, and he tries to kill Robin, and Batman wants to kill him, but he's not going to do it. He's restrained him. And Nobody tells Damian, he says, I'm going to come back and I'm going to kill you all. And Damian in his own mind, he's protecting the family, and he's got a little 2-finger, deathly, lethal martial art that he'd learned, and right between the eyes penetrates his skull and kills nobody. I mean, just brutal. And it's just a hell of an ending to that issue where his fingers are right through it, right between his eyes, through the skull. And Batman is like, "Oh my God, what have you done?" And so I thought it was wonderful. The issue that followed this up, I thought it was really wonderful, where where Bruce isn't having killing at all, but this is his son, and he realizes that he's got to try to teach this boy that the lessons he learned as an assassin, from Ra's al Ghul and his teachings. He's got to move him from that, and he can't go that way. And some of the the dialogue from that, where Damian doesn't know what he's going to do to him. He doesn't know how he's going to banish him, or if he's going to send him back to his grandfather. And Bruce, this is some of the most fatherly images we'll get. Hey, hello, get a Bruce. And Bruce tells him, he's about killing. He says, "I'd be lying to you if I told you it never crossed my mind. But I made a promise to myself and on the souls of my parents to live by certain principles." And Damian says, "But if killing them is the only way to stop them, then how?" He says, "Principles do not allow for exceptions, Damian. There's an old proverb that says, if you walk down a road of vengeance, then you should dig 2 graves, one for your enemy and one for yourself. You can't build a better world by killing criminals. It bankrupts your soul and societies by reinforcing the same cycle of violence." And Damian says, "I want to believe that, but I'm not sure I can." And Bruce tells him, "You have to believe it. You have to live it from here on out, not for my sake, but for yours." And Damian says, "I don't want to end up like the card without a moral compass. I don't want to turn into a nobody. I want to be like you. I've always wanted to be like you, but sometimes I don't know what I am or even who I am." And Bruce says, "You're my son. All I want is you to be the best Damian Wayne you can be." And Damian says, "And here, I thought we didn't like each other." And his father says, "We don't understand each other. That's the difference." He says, "Don't give up on me, Father." And he says, "I have no intention to. But you will remember what happened today for the rest of your life. So that, you will remember what you did for the rest of your life." But that, to me, is one of the greatest father-son episodes that we have in comics. I thought we didn't like each other. No, we don't understand each other. That's the difference. And Bruce is not going to give, and just wonderful scenes where, Bruce is, kneeling down to him, talking to him on his level, not lording above him. And it's just wonderful. And I love, Damian says, "How do I make amends?" I missed that. He goes, "How do I make amends?" He says, you can't, but you will remember what happened on that boat every day of your life. And that's what a lesson, what a great example of fatherhood, where Bruce Wayne, who has not always been there for his charges. So again, that speaks to the brilliance of Tomasi, to the brilliance of Gleason's art that tells the story too. And I'm telling you, that series, as far as Batman and Robin gets, that's about as good as it gets, guys and gals.
Yeah.
So
that is so true.
Yeah.
So true. All right, good picks, Uncle Gary. Love them. They're awesome. So for my 3 picks, I have this one, and I didn't notate the source. I forget which book. So if you guys know this this particular scene, just shout out the book for me. Damian's actually talking to the other 3 Robins, Jason Todd, Nightwing, and I believe Tim Drake is there as well. And he's like, "Day or night, when you least expect it, I'm gonna beat you, and it's gonna be bad." And he goes, "Then I'm gonna take one of your personal items, and I'm gonna hang it in my room as a trophy." So
I think he tells him something like, too, "I'm going to beat you at something you think you're unbeatable at."
But yeah, that's right. Beat you something that you think you're unbeatable at. Yes.
Batman and Robin Eternal?
I want to say that is correct, but I forgot to know. I forgot to note
that was the first time they all got together when Batman disappeared.
Yeah.
And he was like, "I'm the one that should be finding him." and then they all get in an argument, and he's like, "I will beat each one of you and take something with me."
Yeah, take it. I'll put it in my room, like as a trophy. I thought that was pretty badass. I thought it was pretty badass. So, little shit. So this next badass moment I have is actually a pretty kind of a comical moment. But he had to go undercover in a middle school, and he absolutely hated it. As you can see the panel, it's a Batgirl number 17, and he's like, he has on a little baseball cap, he's got on ridiculous clothes, and you get to see he's pissed. He has no intention of being there, but he's going undercover. Undercover. So I thought that was pretty funny. So my last badass moment was from Batman Inc. number 8. This is where he dies in it, but he has the best fight scenes and talk with Nightwing during this whole thing. So not only is he like beating off the opponents at the same time, he's having a deep conversation with Nightwing about being a Robin, about, being the best he can be, that type of situation. And knowing that he could try to reach his mother. So at this point, I think, Uncle Gary, this is just after that issue that you were talking about, which, you did the story time on. So he's like, I know I can reach my mother. I know I can reach her. I know I can bring her back. There's no need to kill her or whatever. He goes, I know I can reach her if I can just get to her. And that was that whole issue right there. But just the artwork and the story and the way he was talking with Nightwing through the whole book was just amazing. So that's my third badass moment.
I love it.
All right. So now we can jump on to our next segment, which is critiques and stuff that we do not like about the character. And Uncle Gary, why don't you go first on this one?
So it's easy to say I don't like he's a pompous little ass. But that's kind of what you like about him, because he's different. He's got a different personality than any of the other Robins. So I do like that. I think I think sometimes it's too much, and maybe I think it's too much. For him to walk into the older Titans and take over, that didn't happen. But the younger bunch that he took over were more of his contemporaries, so that I was okay with that. But he just walks in the room. His arrogance is a little much at times, but I think that's kind of the charm of it. We're supposed to, we're supposed to
love to hate it. Love to hate it type of thing?
Yeah, you're supposed to love to hate it. I think the biggest criticism I have is what I mentioned before, the fact that we lose him with Jonathan as the Super Sons. I think that is a whole aspect of storytelling that these two characters had together. And one thing they did, I agree, Chris. One thing they did that was kind of interesting lately is they had him and Jonathan as kind of babysitters for Trinity in the backup, Wonder Woman backup. And those were some amusing stories. They were pretty funny and they were amusing. And they were older and they could banter back and forth and it was fun and you could feel that relationship again. But, I just hate that we've lost that relationship with the two of them as kids.
Yep, I agree. All right, Dan, what do you got?
I don't really have any problems with the character. Like I said, I like the way that they've had him grow. I like that he, personality-wise, like Gary said, he is much different than not just all the other Robins, but like all of the other members of the Bat family. And but the one thing he has in common with him, he's like whatever guilt he feels like he carries it with him. Like you were saying, the beheading, he still blames himself for Alfred's death.
Yes.
Yep.
And some of the stuff that, the way he used to be. I think the only, kind of criticism I have is that they, not just with the Super Sons, but like they put him with Jonathan. It's like, oh, well, Jonathan's, going to be, what is he, like an older teenager now?
Yeah.
So that's gone. Like, oh, he's on the Teen Titans. Oh, but he's not there anymore. The last Robin series that he was in, it's like, oh, he's got all of these supporting cast members. Oh, but they're all gone now. It's like they constantly give him, supporting cast members outside of the Batman family, and then quickly take them away. Where there's, Grayson was in Teen Titans for years. I mean, he's still with the Titans. It's the same, the same group for years. He's
Yes, Chris, that is correct. Spoiler alert.
For now, he'll come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
that was a great series, Boosh.
Yeah, Boosh, that was great.
But they constantly put him in something that takes him outside of the sphere of like the Batman family, but then we'll remove him from it and just put him in that. And I'd like to see him, some of these other relationships and some of these other dynamics, actually continue instead of just being something that like, oh, it runs a year or two and then it's over.
You mentioned Alfred. That's another great relationship that he had. Somebody that he really loved. You know, that he truly had that depth of feeling. I mean, very much Alfred. Alfred was like the warm grandfather that he had. The grandfather of his heart. That Ra's al Ghul never was. So, that was a wonderful relationship, and he had a great relationship with the Bat Cow and with Titus. And with Goliath, so he had a great menagerie of critters that he had a great relationship with. Yep.
That was the one that come back. Yeah. Okay, Boosh. Very good. All right, Jamie, what do you got for what you don't like?
Yeah, I was gonna say real quick. Yeah, Chris, Alfred, they killed him. Chris's favorite writer, Tom King, killed him off a few years ago.
Bane snapped his neck.
Yeah.
So, and Damian was talking a lot. Yeah, Damian was talking a lot of trash to Bane, and Bane did it to hurt Damian, and it did. It did hurt Damian. Really, really devastated him. At some point, I expect them to bring Alfred back somehow, some way, an interdimensional Alfred, which is I thought what they were going to do. Last year where they had Batman in another dimension. I thought he was going to bring another reality. I thought he was going to bring that Alfred back with him. But
yeah, Batcow.
Yeah, Batcow.
That was an honorable mention for my badass moments.
Don't forget too. This isn't the first time Alfred has been killed. He's been killed.
That's right. He's been killed before.
Granted that was like back in the Silver Age, but still.
The Outsider. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Jamie, what do you got for your critiques?
All right, so mine might get a little hate for it, but I think it's on the right track and on par with probably what everyone else thinks. But I think that they're honestly pushing him for a solo series too fast. And I hate it. I hate that they're pushing him for the solo stuff. You look at what Grayson went through. You look at how long they waited for Jason. He was dead forever. And then you look at Tim and everybody else. Everyone had time to like marinate and come up with their different persona or whatever it may be, and now they're just like, here's Damian, and nothing to add. Just here's Damian. Like, don't put him in a solo book. He's gonna work better with, like Dan was saying. They gave him the tools necessary to succeed, but then took him away. So I don't think he's ready for his own solo series, and I hate the fact that they're trying to push it so hard.
See, I don't mind that they give him a solo series because the last one he was in, I loved the last one he was in, but then they ended it so quickly. And, the one that he did before that was the Robin, son of Batman, like that didn't last very long. You got to, if you're going to give him a solo series, and give him a solo series and let it run, give him a supporting cast and let him go. Don't just let it run for a year and be like, all right, we're going to cancel it so we can go do some big event.
Yeah, but that's what they're going to do, and that's why I'm saying he's not ready for that. Give him someone that's going to actually sit there and actually give him a sense of being.
He may be tough to have a solo series around because at so many times he's such an unlikable ass that you need somebody in a book with him that he can play off of, and he's. And, where it softens his edges just a little bit. I think left to his own devices, the character can become unlikable. So I think the interplay between him and other supporting characters is very important. And I think that, that lends itself to being a book with others in it more than just a solo series.
Yeah, like I said, to me, it was just, I kept seeing it and then it just end and then another one would pop up and it end or get canceled. And it's like, stop pushing him. Let him be him. Let him be Robin. Let him be Batman's Robin.
Yep. I think they go that method like every comic book big producer does. They throw stuff to the wall, whatever sticks, and then they go with it.
Yeah.
That's And one thing. I'm sorry. Are you done? Can I jump into mine?
Go.
Oh, okay, cool. I didn't want to interrupt you. So yeah, I agree with all what you guys have said. Dan, especially with the you're getting the tools and yanking them out on him. I also don't like sometimes the way he's drawn. I think you make him too much of a kid or too much looking like a almost a teenager type situation. Pick something and go with it. I don't care if he progresses that way, but let's not bounce back and forth. I don't like that. It feels weird to me to see it like that. And also I'm going to agree with Uncle Gary what he said. If he's left to his own devices, I think he could become an unlikable character, and that's what I don't like. He definitely needs that banter or someone to play off of to soften out those edges to make him, still a prick, but a likable prick, and worthy of reading. And I would love to see him in a series or even a mini again on his own. I mean, I like to see more of him. So keep him with another character that he can play off of. I'm all for it. So that's what I have. All right. So before our next segment, we got to stop for a second here and go with our sponsor, Uncle Gary. Who's our sponsor?
Oh, Comic Logic. I love me some Comic Logic. I'm one of the proud co-owners of Comic Logic. We're Loudoun County, Virginia's only comic book store. Please stop in and see us. We would love to make your acquaintance. If you stop in on Wednesdays, you get to see me. You get to see Mike Harbour. You get to see Rob Kalin. You get to see a lot of the gang there. We would love to see you. Might even see some of the regulars in here. You see Liz there. But we have a big event coming this week. We have on Sunday, just right around the corner, this very weekend, we have our Fall Lot Con. And our Fall Lot Con is where we turn our parking lot into a mini comic book convention. We'll have comics. We'll have jewelry. We'll have local artists, local authors, and we'll have toys. And we'll even have a tattoo artist that can put what other comic book character you like. He can make it a permanent part of your skin. So you can't go wrong there. Rob says he's getting another tattoo, and we're all hoping for a tramp stamp. So we'll see. We'll see what we can talk him into. But anyway, please come see us. That being said, it is a family-friendly event. Please bring your kids and have them dressed up in their Halloween costumes. It's trunk or treat, so the vendors will have candy to give out to the kids in an early trick-or-treat situation there. And we would love to make your acquaintance. I'll be there. Mike will be there. Rob will be there. And we'll have some of the Codex people you see on this screen right here. You'll see myself. You'll see Dan for sure. He'll be there with his lovely daughter. And Sal's maybe. Sal's got some commitments and maybe he gets there. But if he doesn't, that's okay. He'll be there in spirit. But we would love to see you. It's a good time, 12 to 4, this very Sunday, Fall Lot Con. Please come by and see us. You won't be sorry you did.
Absolutely, folks. Dan and I have been there. We can both attest that is a great mini event. It is wonderful to do, wonderful to go to. My daughter loved it. I know Dan's daughter loved it. It's a good thing to do. All right, so let's go ahead and jump onto top covers. And let's see. Here we go. Top covers. Who wants to go first? Dan, you want to go first for top covers?
Sure.
All right, there you go.
All right, so on the left, I've mentioned it a few times, but I really dug that issue, Batman issue 666. It was a one-issue standalone story that showed Damian in the future as Batman. I love that cover. Where the city's all on fire and he's Batman just kind of towering over it. He had his own unique Batman costume that you see for a bit there too, which I thought was pretty cool. The middle one, Batman and Robin.
And let's give credit to the artist.
Oh, for 66. Oh yeah, Andy Kubert.
Yes, sir.
The middle one, Batman and Robin, number 10. This is from Volume 1. I just love the fact that Batman's reaching down, checking something, and Damian's behind him, just like, "Yep, I'm about to take off your head." And
he loves a good decapitation.
Yeah,
He does.
And then the other one on the end is Robin Volume 2, Issue 2, It's the variant cover. I believe it's the B cover.
Yeah, it's a great cover.
And I love that you see him in the Robin costume, his new one that he got for that series that he designed, and clearly he's taping his hands up like a fighter, like he's getting ready to go into a fight, and you see that smirk on his face, where he's like, "Yep, I'm about to go whoop someone's ass."
Smug.
Yeah,
looks like his belt buckle's also a D.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I thought that was a pretty cool one too. So those are my three.
Awesome.
Frank Quietly did the middle one, and the artist on the last one is on the.
I don't. I have to look it up.
Yeah, okay. Just curious because that is a great cover. I remember buying that alternate because it was so cool. Love the perspective of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or did I say volume? That's Robin Volume 3.
Yeah.
Issue 2.
Yeah, So part of it, you wonder if maybe he's already kicked somebody's ass because he's got blood on his hands.
It's Francis Manapul. That's who the.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, Jamie, you're next. Here are your covers.
Yeah, so I have Robin, Son of Batman. It was issue 1, but I grabbed the actual trade cover for it.
Goliath with him. Nice.
Yes. I just think it's awesome. Anytime he's got the sword out, it's a good time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have Robin from his solo series, the first issue, and it's the same concept with Dance. He's wrapping his hands, look like he's got in a fight, and then you just see everybody basically falling and fighting in the background.
And I like the costume that you see. You see it much more clearly on that cover than on mine. But where he redesigned his own Robin costume, but he kind of went with his own color scheme too.
Yeah, I do like that one. That is a good one.
Then the last one's the Batman and Robin, the first issue. I just think it just looks great. Just that stoic stance, getting ready to go out.
Yeah, that's one I used for the cover of the day.
I know. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, "Oh, he knew."
Yeah. I didn't know you had used it, but it's just a great cover.
It is.
It is.
Frank Quietly again. Yep.
All right, Gary, Uncle Gary, here is yours.
All right, we're repeating the one in the center, like Dan had, very much so. That's that great Andy Kubert cover from Batman 666. So I think Todd McFarlane is jealous. I mean, not McFarlane. Liefeld is jealous of those pouches.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little.
Just a little.
Rob Liefeld saw that cover on the rack and just started drooling.
Yeah, he did. He did. The Teen Titans '89. That's another Frank Quietly. Just that's his attitude. He comes in, he's gonna kick everybody's ass and take over. So that's exactly his mindset. Whether he could actually do it or not, it's a different thing. But that's just his attitude. That's why I loved it. It's all about attitude. Look at him. Yeah. And then also attitude was Batman and Robin 20, and that's that's also volume 1, and it's Gleason, and the inker was Mark Irwin on that. So again, smug attitude. He looks like somebody's going to get the dynamic duo beat down in just a second. So I just love the attitude on that cover by both of them.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. All right, good covers. Let's show mine here. There I am. Boom.
Oh.
All right, so that first one on the left is Batman and Robin, Volume 3. This is the C cover. But I like Batman's got the chains around his neck too, but Robin's on top. He's got the rope around his neck as well. That just looks badass to me.
Cool Killer Croc too.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. And the middle cover is the Damian, Son of Batman. I love that cover. It feels explosive to me with the way he's running from the explosion in the background. He's got this dual swords going. That's pretty badass to me.
Yeah.
The last one, of course, Batman Incorporated number 8. I just discovered this was after reading this story, I had to use this cover because I liked the blackness inside the where his body should be, and you only see the faint R, on his chest. So, and of course the RIP, the RIP has his symbol as well. So I love this cover. This is a great cover. I'm trying to
It
see
is.
if I have the artist for this one. I don't think I. Yeah, I do. Fairbarn.
Okay.
Nathan Fairbairn was the colorist, and the artist was Chris Burnham.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
So good stuff there. All right.
Absolutely.
So next up is our essential readings, and Uncle Gary, you are going to go first for our essential readings, and there you are.
All right.
Oh, your light went out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It does that.
All right. So usually I don't throw as many issues in there as I did here, but God, they're just so good. Thanks, Chris. Everybody had great covers. But I'm giving whole volumes of these sets, so it's because they're so good. Batman and Robin, Volume 1, 26 issues, fantastic writing, fantastic art. Morrison was writing most of it, and Frank Quietly was doing most of the art. Toward the end, Gleason took over a little bit, but that was the Damian Wayne and Dick Grayson as Batman partnership, and it was fantastic. You know, they really gelled together and became quite an efficient team, and they were a really, my best friend Mike, he loves that iteration of Batman and Robin more than any other. You know, with the two of them working together, he just loves it. Batman and Robin Volume 2 was 1 through 40, and it was, it's a lot of issues, but it was quite a ride, and it dealt with Damian's death, and with
that was a ride isn't the word.
Yeah, great. Yeah, so I didn't want to split it up because the first 8 issues deal with Damian when he killed nobody, and that I did a little story time with that wonderful writing by Tomasi in there, and then after Damian dies, Batman goes on a quest to retrieve his body, which has been taken, and he has team ups with there are issues where Two-Face is a part of the book, and
it was like everybody.
Yeah, and every issue. Then he had it was a damn good reboot, and all with the great Patrick Gleason art. And he had a issue with Wonder Woman, an issue with Aquaman, issue with Shazam, and the issue with the Justice League trying to keep him from going to Apocalypse to retrieve Damian's body that had been taken there. And then against everyone's best advice, he put Damian into well, I'm not going to give it away in case somebody wants to read it. So, but he goes against people's advice on how to resurrect Damian, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful story. And then when Damian comes back, he has some additional powers that are kind of fun to deal with for a while. And so it's just a great story. And again, I don't usually like to give, say that many issues, but I don't know how you break it up. It was such a wonderful read. And then on a smaller level, so is the last one. Super Sons was the original run, again written by Tomasi, and Jorge Jimenez was the artist on most of the issues of that, and it was just it's kind of the kind of book that that Tomasi was writing a book kind of like what you expect from Mark Waid, which is just fun superhero storytelling, and this relationship between Jonathan and Damian was so well done in this series, full of so much fun and joy, where it's just these two goofball kids going out there with their personality clashes, but they really were fond of one another. And it's just it's just a great read. And this is a read that you could let kids read, that it wasn't overly dark. It was just so age appropriate material for for younger comic readers. So we always recommend that highly at the shop. So those are my 3. I know it's a lot of reading, and they are collected. These are all collected where you can have all these to read in trade or in hardback. So I would encourage y'all to collect it in that format or get the individual issues. Either way, it's a great story. Story.
Fun fact of me, when COVID hit, I read Batman and Robin Volume 2 in one day. I sat there. I read everything because I read the first couple of issues and I was like, okay, I can keep reading. And it just sucks you in so much that you just lose track. And I'm like, oh, it's over. Wait, what time is it? And I'm like, oh no.
What a ride from issue 1 to 40, though, right?
It just did not stop being good at any point. Like, there was not one issue that wasn't at some point either jaw-dropping or captivated you in some way.
Absolutely.
All right, Jamie, you are next for readings. There you
I was
go.
going to say, Gary's got the Kevin special there. Recommended reading, 82 issues.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. And usually I don't do that, but this one made me. Yeah.
No, it's hard to break up some of these runs, especially, when it's like a book that didn't run that long.
Yeah.
It's hard to break them up.
And after we just heard what Jamie said, that he read 1 through 40 in one sitting.
Oh, yeah.
And
this was back when the app was DC Universe, and you could watch like all the DC shows on your TV, and you can also read the books on your TV. So I sat there with the Roku remote for like 9 hours, just clicking to the next panel.
Yeah,
not moving.
Pam, I agree with you. There's always age appropriate. The Shazam book by Jeff Johns a few years ago with the Magic Lands in it. I've recommended that to quite a few people at the shop because I think if you're like 12 or 13, that book is fantastic. Great trade, and I've sold quite a few copies of those. So yeah, DC has had a lot of really good books for that age group that I think is quite captivating.
All right. Very good. Jamie, here are yours once again. Come on. There we go.
Yes. So Robin War, I had to put on there because of the fact that if you want to see Damian Wayne just run through people, this is the book for you. Like, if you want just, like, unless you can say you're on his level, he wiped out everybody. And the next two I got are Elseworld titles, but I think Deceased really gave that aspect of what if Damian had to take up the mantle as Batman at the age he is.
Yep.
And no one really looks at it that way. They're like, oh, they just gave him the Batman suit and then just said, go for it. No. He is now he's the same age and has to sit there and be his father and try to go by what his morals were, even though people are just getting killed.
Deceased was a really good series.
Yeah.
It was an amazing ride. And lastly, I don't know why it was so fun for me, but DC vs. Vampires with him because he was the ultimate cocky prick that was he just strategized everything. I don't want to give it away on why I'm saying it, but he literally turns that book upside down.
Yep.
And still is.
Yes.
And still is. Yep. Absolutely.
Yep. All right. Let's see. Where is yours, Dan? Hold on a second. Where is Dan's? There's Dan's. Dan, you're up.
Well, I'm going to be like Gary and give some full volumes here. I'm not.
That's all right.
So I'll start off again. Batman issue 666. I loved how how that has Damian in the future as Batman. Because for me, of all the Robins, he's the one that would most likely be the one to step into the shoes and actually become Batman. Right? Because Dick, he's been Batman, but he's made it clear that he doesn't want to be Batman. That's not him. Jason, there's no chance Jason could be Batman.
No.
Didn't you see him in Battle for the Cowl? Perfect Batman.
Well, Tim, we've seen Tim as future Batman in some of those great Teen Titans books where it was, them in the future when they had kind of grown up and become Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and come to the past. It wasn't something that Tim should want to do, but Damian seems the most natural to actually become Batman. You see him as that in this. And like I said, I was really disappointed, that it's only one issue that hasn't really been revisited because it kind of, thank you, Booge. It was just a kick-ass issue, and it teases, about what happened to Bruce in it and how there's this animosity between him and Barbara and what the state of Gotham is at this point in the future and all that. And it's just something that I'd really like to see them at some point go back to and flesh out a bit more. But the issue was really cool.
Actually, Dan, they did come back to it. I got to find what it was. but they did come back to it. It just wasn't good. It wasn't a good set of series. It was in Future State.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't read a whole lot of Future State, so
Yeah, Future State Gotham.
Skipped. Which one was it?
Future State Gotham. It ran for 20 issues. All of Future State, anyone that had their own title had 2 issues, and that was it. Gotham ran for 20 issues, but Damian he basically comes back as Batman 666, and he's trying to take over Gotham.
Oh, see that wasn't what he was doing in that issue, so that's kind of a disappointment.
Yeah, but it's still the same suit, same everything. They took like a bloodlust for him, and I believe he was fighting Jason in that.
Oh, yeah. Well, him and Jason don't get along real well. And Batman 666 is also the first, technically the first appearance of Professor Pig. He's mentioned in it, but the character they showed is not the Professor Pig that we got later on. But then again, that story took place in the future, so maybe it's a second one. Who knows? Anyways, moving on. Gary covered Batman and Robin Volume 1 pretty well. We've talked about it a lot. I like the dynamic between him and Dick Grayson as Batman, because, as I said, him and Bruce are, of course, being father and son, but they're too similar to each other. But Dick Grayson is, personality-wise, is a lot different, and him being that fun-loving character, it's almost the opposite of, when he was Robin, Batman was super serious, and he was the fun-loving one. Now it's Batman is the fun-loving one, and Robin's the super serious one. And you see him grow and be able to appreciate their partnership throughout the book, and I thought it was really good. And I think it had it up on Gary's slide. It ran 26 issues, so It's a super long read. They come into blows with Jason in this when he was a Red Hood before he kind of rehabilitated himself and kind of became part of the Bat family again. Though I will say the Red Hood costume he has in this series is just god awful. But most of the series, most of the other art in the series is good, but that costume was not a good look. And then the last one I got on here is Robin Volume 3. That was his most recent series from a few years ago. And again, I put the whole volume on there. It's not long. It's only 17 issues. But, I really liked, as I said, that they had him. They introduced all these other new characters that were good, good characters for him to play off of. And, I was really disappointed when the series ended, but it involved him going to, something they introduced in the book called Lazarus Island. And there was a big tournament there, almost, like a Mortal Kombat Street Fighter kind of tournament that was having it at this island. And it was the best fighters from all around the world. So you got all these new, interesting characters that got introduced that he got to play off of. Plus, you got to see some other returning characters, like Connor Hawke was in it, and a few other ones that we'd seen before. And as with the Lazarus Pit, you saw some of the Al Ghul family tree. Let's just say it that way. I won't give away who it was, but it was a really cool series, and you got to see some more of Damian's personality and some of his stuff that he likes outside that they never really show in other series. Like, it shows like, oh, he likes manga. Like, he never really deals with the stuff he likes outside of being Robin and being a fighter. And this book kind of delved into that. He got himself a girlfriend in it. It's just unfortunate that it ended because it ended and went right into the Batman versus Robin series, which then went right into Lazarus Planet. So, but all of, if you'd like those events, they all stemmed from one book.
It was nice to see Connor Hawke in that series.
Yeah, he was really cool in it. And I forget the name of the character they introduced that was like Lord Deathman's sidekick that kind of became his girlfriend,
I can't remember her name either.
But, she was a cool character. I like how, she interacted with, and just the whole idea of putting Damian in a Killer Be Killed martial arts tournament with the best fighters in the world. Like, that's just such a cool idea. Ravager was in it too, which was really cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very good.
All right, so let's go ahead and jump to my recommended readings. There we go. I went with that Batman Incorporated #8 for reasons I said earlier. It was just a great action issue with a lot of good banter with Nightwing, and even though he does end up being killed at the end of it, it just still showed his compassion that he thought he could still save his mother or bring her back, to the right side. So he was really trying to embrace the Bat family motto of not killing. But this was just a great action-packed episode. Issue. I just love this one, so I highly recommend that one. I also went with Batman and Robin Annual #1. That's the one where he leads this Batman around the world, on the wild goose chase, to leaving clues for him all over the place. Like Dan explained this one pretty much in detail earlier. And of course, the last one I have is Robin Wars 1 and 2. I like these two. I like this one because of he's taking on the Court of Owls. He's facing off with all the other Robins as well, and it's a good story all around. So issues 1 and 2 from Robin War. That's what I have there.
Gary's recommended reading. What is it, like 82 issues?
Yeah, no.
Like 44 or something. Jamie's, if you add all his up, that's probably about 30 or so issues.
And I got
Sal
5.
4 issues.
4 issues.
So
I'm not going to kill you guys with issues. All right, come on.
If you're taking the course, go with Sal's. That's the easy one to go. So
yeah. You want the easy A? You want the easy A? Come to my class, okay?
I think that character was Flatline, Dan.
Flatline, yeah.
All right.
I had to look it up.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. So now we've done essential readings. We can move on to best author and artist. So, Uncle Gary, who do you got? Yeah.
Guys, if you guys are still watching, please do us a favor and hit that like button. It will help us out tremendously. I want to reach out to everybody we possibly can in this community. You guys deserve it. We deserve it. We want to make this a household thing. So please hit that like button.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Helps that algorithm so we can get our content out to more people like you.
Yeah, do it right now.
Like our old Schwarzenegger just said, do it right now. All right, Uncle Gary, the floor is yours. What do you got?
All right, best writer, Peter Tomasi. I just love his take on it. The portion that I read, my selected reading, was just beautiful dynamic, father-son dynamic on, quite a serious issue. So he does the real serious stuff like that really well. And yet he's also the writer of the Super Sons, which is light and fun and everything a comic book should be for a certain age. So of reader. So Peter Tomasi, easy, hands down for me, pick on that. And then as far as the artist, I really love Patrick Gleason's work that he did on Batman and Robin. He did the entire 40 issue series that Jamie read through, and then he did part of the volume 1 toward the end of that too. But it's for me it's Tomasi and Gleason. Yeah.
He might be, Chris. He might be. We can't talk about that on the air, though. All right, Jamie, who do you have?
All right. So this is where it gets tricky for me for writer, because there are a bunch of different people that have written Damian throughout the years. And I do love Tomasi's work. But the story that got me into Damian was Batman and Robin Eternal. I don't talk about it as much, but the way James Tynion portrayed Damian was spot on the entire time. And even near the end when Damian seemed weak, like the lowest on totem pole, you seen the fractures like starting to show through. So I'm going to go with Tynion on this one. And then I got to go with Uncle Gary, Gleason.
Very good.
Gleason's work was amazing.
Very good. All right, Dan, what do you got?
Those are both good picks for writer. But for me, I'm going to go with Joshua Williamson, who was the writer of his last series, the 17-issue one. I like how he like I said, he introduced all of those supporting cast members, which unfortunately haven't done anything with either. But they played really well off of Damian, and he started introducing aspects of Damian's personality outside of him being Robin. Like I said, where you see, oh, he is a kid. He does have other kind of interests. So I dug that. So I'm going to go with Joshua Williamson as my writer, and I'm going to agree with both of you. Patrick Gleason as artist. His stuff is he's just fantastic in it. Though I did like the way Kubert drew him, and as like the future Batman. But since we got so little of that, I'm going to still stick with Gleason.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and beat a dead horse here to go with the artist of Gleason as well. I enjoyed that so much. But my Queen Sleep on that one. But my author, I'm really split. And I'm really split between Tomasi and Morrison.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Joe. Tomasi and Morrison. I love them both. I'm probably going to lean towards Grant Morrison because Gary picked Tomasi, who I loved as well. But I'm going to go with Grant Morrison just to be a little bit different.
Absolutely. It's funny. So we all have the same artists, but different writers. And all the writers mentioned have done a hell of a job with that character.
Absolutely.
I mean, Hal Morrison, was the one that created him.
Yeah.
Co-created him.
Yeah, that's true. Absolutely. All right, folks, this wraps up our segment tonight, and we wrap up this character, Damian Wayne, the son of Batman himself. Anybody have any last final comments, special thoughts, spinning action figures? Do we have any of that? Boom, there we are. Everybody in the chat, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for participating. We appreciate it. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe to get us in that algorithm so we can get more content out to more people like you, the Team of the Sun, the canon.
We are debating that right now. We are not sure if it is, but it's a hell of a book, though.
I guess it is canon, since I guess it became canon when they introduced Damian, because when Talia, introduced him to him, and I think it was 655, but it was 656 when they actually went into it. Didn't they show some scenes from Son of the Demon? So I guess
I want to say yeah. Let's put it this way. There's nothing out there to make it not
Morrison
canon.
is a hack. Morrison's not a hack.
Morrison's
not a hack. Come on,
not a hack at all. Come on.
I mean, if he's a hack, I wish I could have that kind of a hack career.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All right, folks. Once again, I'm your host tonight, Sal the Slab Guy. When I'm not here on Codex, you can always find me on YouTube at Sal's Comic Corner or Instagram as the Slab Guy 77. Down below is Dan the Man Kelly. You can always find him on Instagram at Dan Kelly Art. And next to him is the Ric Flair of comics. You can always see him at Comic Logic. Check him out there. And of course, our master of the master debater of the evening, J Dub. How you doing, buddy? Where can they find you? Talk about Codex there for a second.
Oh, you were doing so good with the master debater thing. I got excited.
I couldn't think of anything else like pros on there.
That made him turgid.
I can tell. Guys, go check out the CodexStation.com when you guys got some free time. Join us up for everything Codex. Get some merch, meet team. Let us know what you like and don't like. Meet everybody and get their bios and so much more. And I'm trying to remember what that one thing is that we keep leaving out.
That we have all the socials.
Yes.
We love to give them to you. And before we go, I think the fella that has done so much work on our special Halloween episode should talk about it a little bit, because we want you to tune in for that on Saturday night. And that would be that fella up there, Sal the Slab Guy, has done a hell of a job on compiling all these great covers that we have sent in. And I'm excited to see what everybody's picked. I can't wait.
Yep.
For it.
Me too.
So,
yep. All right, folks, you heard from Uncle Gary himself. You've got to be here Saturday night for Comics Unleashed After Dark at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. We're not showing weekly pools. That's off the table this week. What we are doing is each of the hosts. No, you're not.
You didn't tell me about how the show is being ran. I'm doing what I want.
Oh, okay.
well, you'll be the outlier.
Yep. All right, then. Then you'll be the pull out. No, that's all right. So what we're doing, folks.
Cam, I'm happy that you've learned a little bit about Damian and you want to learn a little more. That's what this show is all about. Excellent.
Absolutely, 100%.
And
Thank
Sal,
you, Cam. I'm trying to be the champion here. Trying.
He is. Give him a lot of props on this one. He worked very, very
He
hard
worked
to get
very
the
hard.
done.
I don't know how many covers have you logged, Sal? That
30.
So yeah, we have 39 covers plus 2 bonus covers. So
and one of those, yeah, right, exactly. Chris, I don't know why you would do that to your wife. Sal and I can't unsee what you sent us.
Sal
And
has to wear a hoodie because of how excited he is.
Chris, I have to seek therapy after seeing your scary cover. It was that bad.
yeah,
Hey, folks,
terrible.
we all have picked 9 horror covers, and we're going to show them off to you on Saturday night. And a lot of people from the chat, Pam included, Bougie, even Brandon from Mon Comics has participated. Everybody sent me in some covers. You got to check it out. That's Saturday night. This Saturday, 11 p.m. Eastern Time.
Yeah, real quick, Bougie. There was some cloning stuff that's going on with him, but
It was never directly towards him.
it was a bit too much to get into. But you know, yeah, I will say this too. Yeah, like you said, Brandon from Mon Comics sent some. He is also doing his Halloween show on Saturday night. So make sure that you go on YouTube at 8:00 to watch his, and his show is going from 8 until I believe 11 when ours starts.
Yep.
And as soon as his ends, ours is starting at 11 because that's when his is ending. So, it'll be a good fun Saturday night of horror comics to do his, because he loves all the old monster books and stuff. So I'm really looking forward to his Halloween show and then jumping right into ours.
There you go.
Absolutely, 100%, folks.
Sounds like
All
a Saturday night.
This is going to be a fantastic Saturday night. Everybody, I hope you be there. Until next week, I hope you guys have a 9.8 day.
See ya.
Next one.